Now in today's class, we are going to explore the concept of mixture. Now what is mixture? Mixture is a substance which consists of two or more elements or compounds together, but not chemically combined together. Therefore, we can separate them by physical means. So it's formed of two or more even elements or sometimes compounds not chemically combined together. Not chemically combined together. These are called mixtures. Now, for example, we'll take an example of milk. We'll take example of chai, simply namkeen chai, coffee, whatever. We'll take example of sand and water. Can we separate sand from water? Yes, easily. By hand picking, we can separate it. So therefore, this mixture, they are combined, but they are not chemically combined. So in the mixtures, we are classifying mixtures usually into two types. One is homogeneous mixture. Second one is heterogeneous mixture. These are two types of mixtures. Now, in the homogeneous mixture, let's explore this homogeneous mixture first. So, in the homogeneous mixture, the composition will be uniform. So, there will be no visible boundary of separation between the two components. So, first one is homogeneous mixture. So, in the homogeneous mixture, here the composition will be uniform. Composition of components will be uniform, and there will be no boundary of separation between the two components. There will be no boundary of separation between the components, meaning there will be no even visible boundary of separation, means they are indistinguishable from each other. They are indistinguishable from each other. Okay. Now let's take an illustration, a diagram. Diagrammatically, it's very easy to understand. Suppose in this beaker there are some components, these dark shaped, some are light shaped. Dark, light, dark, light. Now light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. Similarly, as we have seen here, these components, there is first thing is there is no visible boundary. कोई boundary यहाँ पे separation दिख रही है नहीं, so that means there is no separation also, we cannot separate them. ठीक, when we cannot separate them, we can say these are indistinguishable. ये indistinguishable हैं, means we cannot separate them. Okay, now coming to the heterogeneous mixture. Now in the heterogeneous mixture, the composition is non-uniform, means it's not uniform or constant or same. So there will be a visible boundary of separation between the components of solution, and they will be distinguishable from each other. So let's take uniform. Let's take heterogeneous here. Now in the heterogeneous, what will happen, what we are going to see and observe, heterogeneous mixture, the composition will be non-uniform, and there will be a visible boundary of separation. There will be a visible boundary of separation. So therefore, they will become distinguishable from each other. Suppose, let's take an example. Suppose this is a beaker, and in this beaker we are seeing these hollow shaped particles. We will shade dot shaped. We will shade them inside. Is there any boundary of separation between the two? Yes, we can easily even observe it or see it. Now here the particles, they are separated. Two types of components are separated. They are separated from each other, and we can see a visible boundary between them. So this is the example of homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Now coming to the examples, let's take an example. A best example we can take in the homogeneous mixture, we can take example of salt and water. So as we know, in the beaker, if there is salt plus water, and in the second beaker we can see sugar plus H2O. Can we see the salt, the components, like they are present as we can say them, they are solute particles. Are the solute particles, are the salt particles after mixing, after stirring? Once we'll see, we'll only observe, we'll only see water. That means we can, among the two components where only seeing one component, that's water. So where is that salt? That's also present in that composition, but we cannot see that. So they are chemically combined. So that means here the salt solution and sugar solution are the examples of homogeneous. Now coming to the example of heterogeneous. So in the heterogeneous, we can take example of, so here example of heterogeneous, we can take sand and water. So these are sand particles, here will be water. So we can easily see, and we can even by hand picking we can easily take this sand away from this solution. So that means this is sand and this is water. So we can separate them easily, and we can also see a marked distinction between the two particles. So this was all about homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Coming to our next and main next topic, that is solution. Now in the solution, firstly we need to understand that what does the solution means what is the solution and which type of mixture is the solution. So for understanding this, we will first write it. What is solution? So the question is, what is solution? So solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more components. So it is a homogeneous mixture. It is a homogeneous mixture of two or more than two components. Now are substances. For example, salt and water, sugar and water. Some other examples we can take. Now a solution is having usually two components. One is solute, another is solvent. Now the solute is the one, this component is the one which is present in lesser amount, and solvent is present in higher amount usually. It is present in lesser amount by mass. So this is present in larger amount by mass. And this is the basic difference between these two. Now after getting this, but note that a solution can be a solid, liquid in liquid, gas in liquid sometimes. So let's take some examples of these so that you can understand. Sometimes a solution example, sometimes a solution can be solid in liquid. Best example is salt solution. Salt is solid and it is present in water. Water is liquid. Sometimes it can be solid in solid also. Solid in solid. The best example is alloys, brass, bronze, stainless steel, solder. These are examples. Sometimes this first example, this is second. Sometimes it can be gas in gas, meaning gas in gas means it can be air. Simply mixture of gases, air. It's also a solution. Now sometimes it can be gas in liquid, like these aerated drinks. Or these are the examples of solution. Now, after understanding the concept of solution, we'll now move towards the properties of solution. Now the first property of solution is that First property is that a solution is a homogeneous mixture. This is the first property. And now second property is that its particle size, it's the components of solution. Their particle size is usually less than 1 nanometer. And remember, 1 nanometer is equal to 1 raised to power 10 raised to power 9 meter. That means, or we can say 1 nm is equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter in diameter. Please remember this thing, in diameter. I'll write in bracket 10 to the power minus 9 meter in diameter. So first thing is it is homogeneous mixture. Second, its particle size is less than 1 nanometer. Third thing is they do not show Tyndall effect. Do not show Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect means they do not scatter the beam of light. Means Tyndall effect ये show नहीं कर रहे हैं तो ये beam of light को scatter भी नहीं करेंगे. ठीक, so meaning scattering इनमें नहीं होगी, because particle size जो है it is very less, it's very minute, and it's like 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Now fourth property is it is solute particles cannot be separated by process of filtration. Filtration की वजह से भी इनको separate नहीं कर सकते because they are having uniform composition. And fifth particle is the solution. The particles of the solution, they are always stable. Meaning solution जो है it's always stable. Solution is always stable. Stable का मतलब है यहाँ meaning the solute particles do not settle when you left them undisturbed. So they will not settle. Meaning solute particles will not settle when left undisturbed. ठीक, ये सेटल नहीं होंगे जस्ट लाइक दैट कोलाइड, ये सेटल नहीं होंगे बिकॉज दे आर यूनिफॉर्मली they are in uniform composition. So this was all about the mixtures. Now coming to the main topic, that is concentration of solution. Concentration of solution. Now what do you mean by concentration of solution? Let's understand the phenomena of this concentration of solution. Concentration of a solution. So before discussing this concentration, let me give you a quick glance on let me show an illustration. So that will be very easy for us to understand the concentration term. So suppose there are two beakers. I am taking beaker A and beaker B. Now in the beaker A, I'll put 3 spoons of salt, and in the beaker B, I'll put 1 spoon of salt. Now what is the difference between the two? Now the difference between two is, now this B, it's having less of the solute particles because we have now understood the concept of solute and solvent. Now here the water is like suppose it's 100 ml water, same 100 ml water. Now in this beaker there is lesser amount of solute and there is more amount of solute. Now we can differentiate between the two, that in beaker second will be called as dilute solution, and beaker first will be called as concentrated solution. Dilute solution means in which amount of solute particles is in lesser amount, and concentrated means amount of particle is in higher amount. So this is the basic difference between these two. Now what do we mean? Now what is the main term which is determining the difference between this dilute word and the concentrated? It is the only amount of solute. So solute amount is determining, it is determining the fate, it is determining the fate of a solution, whether it should be dilute or it should be concentrated. Therefore the amount of solute present in a solution is its concentration. Amount of solute present in a solution is called concentration, and we can write it CONC full stop in short form. So the concentration of solution is the amount of solute present in a solution. Now after understanding this, now we have observed these two things. Now concentration is the amount of solute present in a solution, and now the solution in which there is less amount of solute present, that is called dilute, and the solution in which more amount of solute is present, that is called concentrated. Hence we can say it is the amount of solute particles that determine the fate of a solution, whether it is concentrated or it is diluted. So when we define concentration of solution, the amount of solute present in a given amount of solution. So we can define it, the amount of solute concentration. Concentration will be defined as amount of solute present in given amount of solution. So we can also, in terms of moles, we can write C is equal to N by V. So N will be the number of moles of solute and V is the volume of whole solution. So this is it. Now this is the mathematical expression for this. Now after completing this, we will see some methods to find the concentration of solution. So there are some methods to find concentration of a solution. So in terms of percentage, we will take it. Like first method is mass by mass. Now first one is mass by mass, percentage of a solution. Percentage of a solution. Second one is mass by volume, percentage of a solution. Third is volume by volume, percentage of a solution. Okay, now third one is the volume by volume, percentage of a solution. Now in mass by mass, percentage of a solution, we can also use a formula here. Now the formula for mass by mass is mass of solute by mass of solution. Now its formula is mass of solute divided by mass of solution into, when we take percentage, we use a reference of 100. Similarly, second formula is, so using this formula we can solve any numerical based on the concentration. Second one is mass by volume. So we can take similarly mass of solute, mass of solute divided by volume of solution into 100. And similarly for the third relation we can use the same. So this was all about concentration of solution, and in next lecture we'll study saturated and unsaturated solution, and the most important topic, that is solubility. So the questions will be asked from that also in 11th class usually. So this is all about today. Thanks.